Hey guys, this is Naveen here. Welcome back to Naveen Automation Lab. So today's topic is very simple topic that a lot of people were getting confused and asking that can you please explain about the infrastructure of Selenium Grid? How exactly we can execute our Selenium test cases on Selenium Grid? Although I have already prepared one video that grid infrastructure setup, but to enhance that particular video that we are going to talk about what are the different options are available, like we have browser stack, we have Sauce Labs. What is the meaning of that? What is the purpose of that? Why we need to use these clouds? Can we use only Docker? Can we set up our own infrastructure? That also we can do that. What is the need of only Docker, only Selenoid, and all those things? So we'll talk about it. So it's a very quick video. This will definitely help you to understand that how to set up your infrastructure, because this is not like WebDriver equal to new Chrome driver and launching the Google Chrome in your local browser in your local machine. That anyone can do that. When you talk about the real-time projects, when you talk at the and when you work in the real-time projects, those things are totally different. You have to work with the infrastructure setup over here so that the entire company, entire team, they can execute their test cases on their respective infrastructure. What do you mean by cost? What do you mean by budget? What do you mean by how will you maintain other maintenance stuff over there? That's very important over there to understand. So let's talk about it. So quickly I'll tell you what do you mean by Selenium Grid first, right? I'm pretty much sure that okay, now most of the people they are aware of what is Selenium Grid. Now the concept will remain same. The only thing is the environment will be different. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about it. So let's say I'm saying that according to Selenium Grid, that we have one hub. We know that, right? This is my hub, which is will behave like a server actually, having its own IP address and having its own port number. So what is the IP address? Port number 4444 generally. The default port it will take. Okay, generally it runs on 4444. Then this particular hub is actually connected to multiple nodes. And nodes means, as I already told you a couple of times earlier, that node is a kind of a separate machine where, let's see, this is my node 1, this is my node number 2, and this is my node number 3. Where having a separate operating system like that, and a specific browser is running. Let's see, here it's Chrome is running. Here we have, let's see, Firefox is running. Here we have, let's see, Safari is running. And let's see, we have one more node, that is node number 4, having its own operating system. And let's see, Microsoft Internet Explorer or Edge is running on this particular node. So let's see, this is node number 4. Okay. So what do you see over here? You can see a grid, right? This hub is connected to multiple nodes. So this entire stuff is actually called a Selenium grid. So this is called grid, right? This is a grid actually. Perfect. So remember one thing. Selenium grid is someone is asking you, this is the 4th component of Selenium. We don't need to write any code. It's all about your configuration. We need to start the hub server. We need to install one standalone jar file. We need to start the server, and then multiple nodes you can create. Now we have multiple options. The first option, guys, that I'm going to talk about, let's see, the first option is, what if I'm running in my local machine or local host? Can we do that? Yes, of course. That is what most of the people they do it. In fact, in the training, when we practice also, that also we do it. It means that what I'm going to do, let's see, this entire infrastructure setup, I'm going to do it in my local machine, in my laptop. What is the laptop that you have? Either you can have a Windows operating system or whatever. So let's see, this entire system is having one Windows laptop or Mac machine or maybe Linux. Right? So I'm going to install hub, and then I'll be creating multiple nodes on the same machine, and then everything is connected. And then I'll be executing my test cases on the same machine only. It means all the 4 nodes plus one server is actually running on the same machine. That is only for practice, guys. It means it's having your own local IP address where the server is running. So let's say your IP address is something like this, 192.161.14444. It means you are running on your server on this particular IP address. It means entire team, they have to access this particular IP address in their code to execute their test cases. But will you prefer this? No, because it's your local machine. It's my own personal laptop, my personal machine. Tomorrow, if you shut down this particular machine, everything is gone. So that is not the right solution. It's good for practice point of view, but generally we don't prefer this. Second thing is that what you can do is that you can ask to the management and you can say that, okay, no, I want 4 machines, 5 machines I want. Let's say this is machine number 1, a typical hardware. I want 5 laptops or 5 different machines I want. This is machine number 2, this is machine number 3, machine number 4, and machine number 5. So you can take 5 different machines, you can install different operating systems. Let's say this is Windows, this is Mac, this is again Windows, this is Linux, and let's say this is running on Windows. So you can set up on 5 different machines, you can connect all these nodes to the simple one server, and everything is connected in the same network. So they are connected in the same network, in your company network, and it's running on a specific port number. It means you have different machine configuration now, right? This thing we used to do that around 7-8 years back, if you remember, right? That we used to get on my desk that, okay, I have 5 different laptops, 5 different machines. One machine is behaving like a server and connected with the different operating systems, running multiple browsers and multiple platforms, and then like that. But this is very expensive, right? What if tomorrow you need 5 more machines or you need 5 more browsers for parallel execution and you need 10 more browsers, 10 Firefox? In that case, I cannot have 10 Firefox on the same machine. I need a different machine. So it's very expensive actually. So I should not use this particular concept. So this is very expensive model. I should not use it. It needs a lot of hardware. So different hardwares you need it over here. So this is also not recommended nowadays. It's gone. Okay. Now let's talk about the third option. The third option is, what you can do is, you can take multiple different VMs, virtual machines. From where? Let's see, there are multiple vendors are available. Let's see, VMware. We have VMware, we have other cloud servicing provider companies are there. Let's see, VMware I'm talking about. So what you can do is that instead of typical hardware machine, what you can take that, okay, yeah, this is VM number 1, this is virtual machine number 2, this is virtual machine number 3. Like that you can create virtual machine number 5. And all these virtual machines from VM2 to VM5, they are behaving like a node, having its own guest operating system, and multiple browsers are running on that particular VMs, and they all are connected to VM number 1, where your hub is running over there, and we have IP port number over here. That also you can do that. Still people are using this particular concept, but again, what is the problem? The problem is that budget. The problem is that it's again, you have to spend some money on it. So it's quite little expensive, I would say, because you have to pay for it, right? So you have to pay for it per month, per year for the single VM. How many VMs you need? And tomorrow, let's say you need 5 more VMs or 10 more VMs. So you have to raise a request to VMware to allocate more VMs to you. You have to raise a request, you have to procure more and more VMs over here, and you have to pay for it. You have to, the billing will be there in that case. So this is also good, but fine, we can take this particular solution if we have a big company or something like that. But the maintenance also very high. You have to maintain multiple VMs over here, right? Okay, so how exactly Selenium Grid, that we have seen that the concept is same. What you are changing is you are just changing from localhost to different machines to multiple VMs. Ultimately, the grid concept will remain same. We are not going to change the concept of the Selenium Grid. It means whatever the script that you have written, let's see, this is the script that you have written over here. So you, from the script, you are sending the request to the hub only. Now it doesn't matter, this hub is running on your local machine, it's running on your VM, or whatever. We will talk about some more options. Okay. Now this script is sending the request over here. Now this script can be sent via Jenkins also. So let's see, I'm using one Jenkins server which is running over here. So I can send it via Jenkins as well. So request can be sent to the Jenkins as well. That is also possible, right? That also we can do that. So ultimate target is that, okay, hey, we have to use what remote WebDriver concept along with the desired capabilities. And inside the remote WebDriver, we have to tell that, okay, yeah, this is my IP and port number of Selenium Hub that we are using it. Along with that, desired capabilities like on which browser, okay, on which browser plus on which platform you want to run your test cases. So we have to tell, okay, to Selenium in the form of desired capability and the remote WebDriver. This is the configuration, this is the coding part that you have to do it in your script. Now it doesn't matter where exactly your hub and this entire grid is running. I'm not bothered about it. Okay, so this is the third option that we can do that. Fourth option, what you can do is that these days a lot of people are using Docker containers. So you can use Docker container. It means that I don't need multiple VMs. I simply create one simple hardware over here. I take one single hardware. This is my hardware, and I will install one. Let's see, whatever the operating system is available. Either it could be Windows, either it could be Mac or Linux, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'll be creating multiple containers. So let's see, this is my container number 1, this is container number 2, this is container number 3, container number 4, and container number 5. It means on the same hardware, I'm creating multiple containers, and I can scale those containers. I can scale down, scale up. I need, okay, 10 more containers, simple, within a command I can do that using Docker. So what is the advantage? The advantage is that it's like easily maintainable plus low budget. In fact, no budget, it's free, it's open source. Not a single penny that you have to spend over here. You just need to take one hardware and you just set up everything over there in the form of containers. Scale up, scale down. Tomorrow you can say, okay, no, I need five more nodes. That different nodes you can create, and all these nodes are connected to one simple hub over here. That also you can do that. So different containers with different multiple browsers, you can take it. Let's see, these two containers are with Chrome and these are with Firefox. Obviously there are some limitations for Internet Explorer and for Safari browser. We don't have any container, but at least we can achieve with Chrome and Firefox. So it's a very good solution that we can do that. You can use Docker containers also, right? Now, if I say that, okay, hey guys, that this entire infrastructure that you have used, what you can do this, all these containers, everything that you have created, instead of in my local network, in my company, I don't want to maintain this particular hardware. Or if you're using the different VMs also, I don't want to maintain in my company, okay, that company should not spend money on my hardwares or on the VMs. That what I can do that, okay, I can contact to AWS and different clouds are available. I can see that. So the fifth option is that different cloud vendors are available. Like we have Amazon AWS Web Services, we have Google Cloud, right? We have Microsoft Azure. That also I can see that. We can have Alibaba Cloud. That also we can take it. So such things, I can move this entire infrastructure. So concept is this grid will remain same. The only thing is that now it's running on a particular cloud over here. And what is the cloud? The cloud could be anything. It could be AWS, it could be Microsoft Azure, whatever. So ultimately, that's the same thing. Let's see on Microsoft or let's see on AWS Amazon Web Services. This is the instance. I will take it from EC2 instance. You can watch my video on EC2 instance. One instance is there, and let's see, I'm creating one more instance of EC2 like that. So multiple instances that you can create from the EC2 service. I can take one Linux instance or Windows or a Mac instance. Instance is just like a machine, a virtual machine. I can take it and then I can install Docker containers, multiple nodes. I can connect with the one single hub. That also I can do it. So that is also possible through AWS Azure. Same thing, you can do it in Azure and other clouds as well. You can do that, right? So this is the concept of Selenium grid, guys. So grid will remain same. The configuration, the commands and everything will remain same. The only thing is that where exactly you are going to set up this particular grid. You are going to set up this particular grid on AWS, Azure, on your local machine, on different hardware machines that you are going to take. I would say different hardware machines, or different VMs, the virtual machines, or different Docker containers, or different clouds. So these are the top 5 options that we have. Do we have any other option? Yes. We have different market, especially for testing, clouds are available. Okay, especially for testing, different market cloud vendors are available. Okay, so we will talk about those things as well. So let me do one thing. Okay, we don't have any space, so let me delete this, or I would say let me delete this particular section. Okay, now let's talk about the 6th option is that we can use Browser Stack. You must have heard about it. Browser Stack is another cloud company, India based, Mumbai based. What they say that, okay, hey, that you don't need to worry about any hardware, any Docker container, any VMs, nothing. We will give you one already grid hub setup. Okay, they will give it to us. With this grid hub setup is running on Browser Stack Cloud. So maybe they have hosted on AWS or whatever, we are not bothered about it. So they will tell you that, okay, hey, this is the grid hub setup. They will give us what? They will give us the IP address and the port number. WD hub. Okay, this is the configuration that we have to do it in our script. Right? So I'll tell that, okay, yeah, this is Browser Stack Grid Hub is the IP address and the port number. I just need to use Browser Stack IP address over here in my script along with they will also tell you that, okay, we will define some customized desired capabilities that you have to send from your script. Either you are using Java, Python, Ruby, whatever. We don't bother about it. Just send me the request and we will give you different VMs by default. It means you don't need to worry about the maintenance of the VM. We will take care of it. So on their cloud, they have the same grid setup is already done. So this is Selenium Hub, which is running on the multiple nodes over there. And we are just sending the request to this guy and running the test cases on the multiple browsers over there. So this is the concept of Browser Stack. Same thing, the competitor of Browser Stack is Sauce Labs, which is again another company, American based company, Sauce Labs Cloud. They also do the same thing. They say that, okay, so Browser Stack, Sauce Labs, these companies, they say that, okay, hey, you just need to do a sign up. And when you create a credentials, we will give you one private key. Okay, we will give you one private key. You just need to use this particular private key along with the hub URL, along with the desired certain capabilities, we will give it to you. You just use these 3 things in your script and send us the test cases and we will execute on our own cloud infrastructure. So you don't need to pay for any cloud infrastructure. You just need to pay the Sauce Labs maintenance fee or services fee, that's it. And it's not that expensive, you can use that. Same thing, you can do it for your mobile automation, mobile execution, and in fact, if you really want to do any functional testing, okay, you don't want to use any automation, but you want to use the different cloud and you want to use different machines, platform with the browser configuration. So they will give you all the different platform plus browsers. Also, they will give it to you. Let's see, there is a client requirement that I want on Windows machine and IE8. And I want one Mac machine, Safari 7 or Safari 9. Are you going to install all those things? You have to procure one Windows machine and all those things. You don't need to do that. They will give it to you. You just need to log in on Sauce Labs and you simply say that, okay, yes, I want one Windows machine plus Internet Explorer 8. They will give it to you. You just do a remote login over there and you can do your functional testing and you can do your automation functional testing also using Selenium. That also you can do that. So that's why these 2 cloud vendors, Browser Stack, Sauce Labs, they are very, very popular. Do we have any other guys in the market? Yes. These days, one more thing is there, that is, there are a lot of vendors are available, guys. One more guy is there, Lambda Test. Same configuration, Lambda test also they will give you one key plus some desired capabilities plus the URL of the hub. You can execute on the Lambda test cloud as well. Now you can say that okay, Naveen, that tomorrow I can start a company, I can take some space and I can hire a couple of cloud developers and I can also create my own company. Yes, of course you can do that. In fact, this is the exact same thing most of the companies they are doing it. They are not using Browser Stack and Sauce Labs. What exactly they do that they take one hardware or instance on the AWS machine, they create number of containers, Docker containers, or the VMs over there, and then entire infrastructure is being used by the complete organization, by the different teams in the same organization. That is what we are doing in my previous companies also. Exactly, we are not using Browser Stack and Sauce Labs. But if you don't want to take the headache of the responsibility of your own VMs and everything, you can move to Browser Stack. You just need to pay some amount of money to Browser Stack and Sauce Labs and the Lambda test and start doing that. And they are expert in all these things. They will give you all the different hundreds of combinations are available. Let's see if I say that, okay, no, I want Android 5, which is a very older version, and with this particular browser I want, you can do that. I want iPhone X, I want iOS 14, iOS 13, iOS 12, iOS older version of iOS also. They will give it to you. You don't need to set up over there. So of course you can contact to these people and then you can use that. So this is the different 7-8 combinations I have told you guys. But what is the common thing? The common thing is this grid setup. Grid setup will remain constant, will remain same on different infrastructure. It will never be changed, right? So I'll tell you one thing. What you can do is that first you understand that okay, how exactly grid. So I have one video. I'll give the description, the link in the description over there. That okay, how exactly you're going to do with the local machine over there. And then you do one thing. You contact to Browser Stack. You go to browserstack.com or maybe saucelabs.com. They have very well documented over there. You just need to get the hub URL and you generate a private queue over here with the desired capabilities and configure in your script. When you write WebDriver equal to new Chrome driver, right? Instead of that, you have to write remote WebDriver equal to new remote WebDriver. You have to pass the URL and the browser platform over there. And then the moment you trigger your test cases will be running on Browser Stack or Sauce Labs. Maybe I can show you practically later in the next video, but you can try all these things and you can write down all these things in your resume as well. Because now you understand the infrastructure. This is something very important to know, guys. That is what I really wanted to cover. Because in my previous video with Docker setup, I forgot to tell all these things. So I hope this is clear now. So this is what I really wanted to cover actually. Okay. So now one last thing, that doesn't matter that you are triggering your test cases directly from here, run as testng or JUnit, or if you are using WebDriver IO or Python or JavaScript or whatever, that doesn't matter. Or you are triggering from the Jenkins, because this entire script is available in your Git, and we have already taken the workspace from the Git, and Jenkins is actually having the same script now that we have configured over here and running the test cases from here through Jenkins. Okay, in fact in Jenkins there are some plugins are available for Browser Stack and Sauce Labs. You can pass your key over here. You can configure your key in Jenkins and you can pass the hub URL in Jenkins, and Jenkins will trigger your test cases on these different clouds. That also you can do that. Okay, so this is something very interesting, guys, that those were the days that we had to use a typical local machine and then different hardwares and all those things. These, we don't use them now. It's already gone because it's very expensive. We have technologies are available in the market. You have to use that. Same thing, you can use number of Docker containers, and all these Docker containers you can maintain, you can manage by Kubernetes. So Kubernetes also, we can prepare one more video on that. So you can use Kubernetes so to maintain all these Docker containers. Directly you can trigger the test cases from Kubernetes to Docker containers. That also you can do that. So something very interesting. You have to raise the bar high, you have to understand the infrastructure, and then please start looking into these things. I will try my best to throughout my channel that through my channel that you guys are learning one by one. So I'll prepare one video on Browser Stack, Sauce Labs, and the Lambda test. That is what my target, okay, for the upcoming chapters in my video, that I'll be showing you the practical things, practical use case of these things. Okay, but before that, I really wanted to cover on the whiteboard. It will really help you at the time of interview. This is what you have to explain at the time of interview. Okay, so perfect. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys are learning. I request that, okay, please tell me, please suggest me that what are different whiteboards, topics that you really want me to cover, okay, through this series, so that we don't need coding over here, but we need to understand the design, we need to understand the infrastructure that will really help you to crack the interviews. These kind of questions people will definitely ask you when you're talking about your framework, when you're talking about the automation experiences, and when you're talking about your infrastructure design setup in your current company. They will ask you that, okay, hey, tell me how exactly you're running your test cases. So, and what are the different options that you can prefer. So when you explain like that, it shows your knowledge that, okay, yeah, this guy is knowledgeable. This guy understands that, okay, yeah, this guy can set up the exact same thing in our company also, in our organization also. So this shows your experience and the maturity level in terms of execution and everything. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Thanks for watching Naveen Automation Labs. I hope you guys are learning. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that the next video, whenever I'm uploading, you will not miss any video. You will get a notification. Bye bye. Take care.